How to create and export a series in one project in Scrivener 3. When you write a book in Scrivener using a template, the settings are pre-configured for the type of writing you want to do, so that you can export an eBook, a paperback, or the standard manuscript that you send to your agent or publisher at the click of a button. But if you deviate from the standard, like if you want to export a series of short stories or bundle several books together, you need to learn how to edit the settings yourself so that each book or short story starts with chapter 1 instead of subsequent books starting as a run-on from the previous book, which can be quite complicated. So I have created a template that includes the export settings for either a series that one author wants to package together or a collection of short stories by several authors, where each story has its own title page and author name. With this template, you can compile an ebook, a 6-inch by 9-inch paperback, or a PDF. Hi, this is Kaz from Scrivener Quick Start, where I help you organize your projects and get more done faster using Scrivener. And in this training, I'm going to show you how you can use my Scrivener Bundled Books template so that you don't have to work it out for yourself. First, you'll find a link to my Scrivener templates page in the description below so that you can download the template we're working on today. And you'll find instructions on the same page to upload it to your Scrivener app and add your own spin to it. If you've been following this Scrivener template series, you'll know that I usually advise you to start in a default Scrivener book template and then drag elements from my templates across. But in this case, I'm going to flip them around. You have to use the Bundled Books template as your main project because it has the Bundled Books settings, and then drag any work you've done in previous projects into it. So if you already wrote your books or short stories in another project, you should have each book or short story in a folder of its own with chapters and scenes inside. Contract Book 1's documents down to chapter level, select them, and then transfer them into the Book 1 folder of the template project. Place them immediately below the title page document. Repeat for the rest of the books you want to include. As long as you've placed your chapters on the same level in the binder as the existing chapter folders, your documents will adopt the same section type settings as the existing documents. So chapters will have a section type of chapter and scenes a section type of scene. For this demo, I'm going to start from scratch with a new template because some of you want to write inside the actual template. So go to File, New Project. You'll find the templates in the Quick Start tab or the Miscellaneous tab. Select it and click on Create. Name it and click on Create again. Inside the Draft Manuscript folder, you'll find several part folders called Book or Story 1, 2, etc. In the Metadata tab of the Inspector window, you'll notice that this level of folders have a section type of book. Double-click on these titles to edit them with the name of the book or short story, but for demo purposes, I'm going to leave them as they are. Within each book folder, there's a title page, followed by a couple of chapter folders with scenes inside. This title file is for those of you who want a title page for each book or story in a series. It has a section type of As Is, which means it will export using the formatting you set up in the editor. Replace My Contents with your own and format it the way you want it using the Format menu. If you don't want a title page for each book, drag these title pages into the trash. Double-click inside each chapter folder and change its name to whatever you want your chapter title to be. That's this title, not the chapter heading, which will be automatically generated by the Scrivener compile engine. If you don't want the auto-numbering, I'll show you how to remove it in a while. Here's where you write your scenes. Simply replace My Placeholder text with your own. And when you run out of scene documents to write in, hit Enter to create more scenes on the same level. You can call them anything that's descriptive of what's in the scene, as their titles are not used in the compile process. You don't need to format your scenes in the editor because this is done globally by the compile engine. Drag any documents you don't need into the trash. On the outside of the draft manuscript folder, I've placed suggestion folders for characters and places for those of you who are starting to write from scratch in this template. If you don't need them, drag them into the trash. Then the front and back matter folders you will need for the beginning and the end of the bundled book. Place the book cover images that you want to appear in the beginning of your ebook or as the front cover of your PDF inside their respective front matter folders. Note that the paperback one is for PDFs, not printed books. When you upload a print book to KDP, you upload the cover as a separate file. Replace all the content within these title pages with your own content and format them. For ebooks, you place the title page information, the copyright and dedication all in one long document. For a paperback, the title page, copyright page and dedication each have a file of their own. Once you've completed your manuscript and added all your books or short stories to the manuscript folder, contract them so that you can only see the book or short story titles. Now we're going to manually create a table of contents. For ebooks, select all your book folders and go to Edit, Copy Special, Copy Documents as Linked List. Then select the contents file in the ebook front matter and place them in below the placeholder text. Now format them using the Format menu, or simply copy one of my titles, go to Format, Copy Formatting, select all your titles and go to Format, Paste Formatting. Then copy and paste my author names below each title and edit them to reflect your author names. Once you're done, delete the placeholder text. For print books, select all the book folders, go to Edit, Copy Special, Copy Documents as TOC. Select the contents file in your paperback front matter folder and paste them in. A table of contents setting box will drop down. I have already fine-tuned this for a 6 by 9 inch book. Hit OK. See, the difference between print and the ebook version is that the print has placeholder tags for page numbering. Now format them using the Format menu or repeat the process we used for the ebook table of contents. So I paused the video and copied the formatting across, but I noticed the dotted line did not come with it. Select the new table of contents and go to Format, Font, Underline, and I like the dotted line best. And then delete the placeholder text. Now decide whether you want to include an image at the beginning of each book or short story. I've placed some book cover images in the Research folder to demonstrate. If you're going to add full-sized book cover images, they need to be 1800 by 2700 pixels, and if you're using images in a paperback, they have to be at least 300 dots per inch. Scrivener can't make your internal images go right up to the edges of the page. For that, you need layout and page design software like Affinity Publisher or Adobe InDesign. Now you need to name your images something really simple with no special characters like underscores. You're going to create a placeholder tag using the code in this file to place a different image at the beginning of each book or short story. Replace the green text with your image title exactly as it appears in your binder with no gaps. Copy the code and select your first book. See here where I've placed the code as loose text inside the folder document. That's why you see this tiny document icon on top of the folder icon. If I delete it, the tiny icon disappears. Paste in your image placeholder code and center it. Then go and create the second placeholder code and place it inside the second book story folder, and so on until all your book folders have image codes inside them. This is the code that makes your stories all start at chapter 1. You don't need it because I've already set it in the compile menu, but I've recorded it here in case you want to get creative. And I'll show you where to edit it when we compile. Once you've written your books or dragged them in from another project, formatted your title pages for each book and made sure their folder hierarchy matched that of the template, adjusted the code in the title folder for each book to match your images in the research folder, and edited the front matter folders with your book information, open the compile menu by going to File, Compile, or hitting the compile icon in your menu bar. First, choose whether you want an ebook or a paperback in the Compile For drop-down menu. Let's start with an ebook. If you're using my template, the compile engine will automatically be set to bundled books, which includes the settings that make each book start on chapter 1. If you select this ebook format, the settings will not be correct for bundled books. At the bottom of the contents list, make sure Add Front Matter and Back Matter folders are selected and the correct folders chosen from the drop-down menus. Everything else in this tab has been done for you. In the Metadata tab, edit your title, abbreviated title, and add your author names. Fill in the rest of the information in this form. No need to change anything in the Settings tab or the Replacements tab. But in this Cover tab, you need to choose the image you set up as a cover in the eBook Front Matter folder. The Table of Contents setting is correct for a manually created table of contents. Hit Compile and let's see what that will look like. Give your ebook a name and hit Export. Each reader is a little different. In Apple Books, you get a quick glimpse of the front cover in one-page view before automatically opening on the title page and contents as a double-page spread. Now, the contents of an ebook is dynamic, so if you skip back to the cover page, the front matter title page will automatically pack onto the following page, so it's now on a right-hand page, followed by the table of contents. The titles in the table of contents will be whatever you called them in the binder, formatted the way you formatted them in the contents file in your front matter folder. They are clickable and will take you directly to each book or short story. Let's go back to the table of contents. The next page is Book 1. This Book 1 heading is automatically generated by a code in the compile engine. If you want to change it, go back to your compile menu. Open the More drop-down menu and choose Edit Format. Make sure you are in the Section Layouts tab and select the Part Numbers section layout. Open the Title Options tab and have a close look at the code in the title prefix box. If you delete the word book from the code, your titles will just say 1. If you delete the code snippet with the auto-numbering of the part in it, you'll have no heading. But don't delete the code snippet that says chapter, because it's the piece of code that makes each part start with a new chapter 1. This first page of each book is the title page you compiled and formatted for each book in your editor. If you place links to an author's website or Amazon author page here, they'll be clickable. If you delete these files, your book will go straight to Chapter 1. The chapter heading is auto-numbered by the compile engine, and the chapter title is whatever you called it in your binder. But what if you don't want auto-numbering? Go back to the Compile menu, Edit Format, still in the Section Layout tab, select the chapter with title row. Open Title Options, delete the auto chapter numbering by deleting the code and the return after it. But then this section title font is too small for a heading, so go to the Formatting tab, double-click on the section title and enlarge it here using the Fonts menu. If you hit this test button, Scrivener will make a test copy so that you can cancel the change if it's not perfect. But that looks fine, so I would save it. Each chapter starts on a new page, and then each book starts with a different image if you've applied one and linked it, and/or a title page, and starts counting over again on Chapter 1. Now for a paperback, go back to the Compile menu. In this case, there's very little difference in the settings between exporting a print book or a PDF, except that for a print book you don't have the option for adding a cover image. This is because you have to upload your cover image as a separate file when you upload it for print. But for this demo, I'm going to compile a PDF. Once again in this template, when you open Compile for a paperback, you'll automatically have Bundled Books selected. And if you pick this paperback, the settings will not be suitable for Bundled Books. Make sure the front matter is set to paperback, and if it's not, change it in the drop-down menu. Change the title settings in the Metadata menu if you haven't done so already. For print, this is very important because whatever you type in this title field will appear at the top of every verso or left-hand page, and whatever you type in the author field will appear at the top of every recto or right-hand page after your front matter. The settings in the Setting tab are correct for a print book or a PDF, and you shouldn't need replacements for this project. Open the Image tab and add the image from your paperback front matter folder. Hit Compile, give it a name, and hit Export. Then wait for it to compile. In a PDF, the image you added to the front matter folder will take up the entire page right up to the edges. The title page of the whole book is set to fall on a right-hand page. Next, you have your copyright page, which will be on the left, followed by your dedication. The contents page has a clickable table of contents, and all other links in the document will be clickable. The books will be named whatever you called them in the binder. If you're using any images in a paperback, they have to be at least 300 dots per inch. There's only one option for internal margins, so the individual cover images can't extend to the edges of the page without doing the same with your text. As with the ebook, each book will be auto-numbered. Then you have the individual title page for the first book, formatted as you formatted it in the editor, followed by Chapter 1. The heading is auto-numbered by the compile engine, and the chapter title will be whatever you called your chapter folder in the binder. Your author name will appear at the top of right-hand pages, and the book title will appear at the top of left-hand pages. There's no setting to change the author name for each different author. So if you have multiple authors, remove these by going back to the Compile menu, Edit Format, open the Page Settings tab in the sidebar, and then the Header and Footer Text tab in the window. In the main body settings, delete this project title code. In the Facing Pages settings, delete the author name code. And then don't forget to save. Each new book will start on Chapter 1. And that's how to bundle your books together in one volume or create a collection of short stories in Scrivener. I hope you're going to give it a try. In the next video, we're going to have a look at low-content books. Seriously, not only is this great fun, but you should all attempt one or two easy-to-create low-content books so that you have a good understanding of how to upload books to KDP long before you attempt to do it for your serious novels or non-fiction books. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video.